Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another tutorial. In this lesson we're going to finish up a few things before we can continue on creating and filling out the functions down here. So in our last lesson we finished the player tired state. Now as you know, we disabled our scripts except for the health. But if our current stamina goes above our stamina modifier, then we set the state to player health reset. So what I'm going to do is come here and I'm going to copy this block where we disabled our scripts. And I'm going to come to the player health reset, and now we need to re-enable those scripts. So I'm just going to paste that in at the very top. We can get rid of this line where we enable the player health script because we're enabling them all now, and we can set script.enabled from false to true, and we'll just change the comment here. So this time we'll say enable those scripts. And as you know, if we've come to this function from the player tired state, we'll be playing a tired animation, and we just want that animation to finish playing before we switch states. So we'll do that by saying if open brackets get component in the brackets of type animation open and close brackets dot, and we want the is playing with the capital I. So if animation is playing and the animation open brackets underscore player tired animation dot name, we'll close brackets twice, we'll come to the next line and we'll just say return, and we'll close the line off straight into the comments. So we'll say if the player tired animation is playing to the next line, then do nothing and return. And we'll just save that there for the moment. So if we come to this state via the player tired, we're just re-enabling the scripts, waiting for the animation loop to finish. We set state to player healthy, and then it can just iterate through to the correct block. So that's that done. And now we need to come to the player dying block, and we'll just paste again. And that's all we need to do. If the player is dying, we don't need any of the scripts other than the player health being enabled on that game object. But I'm also going to come right to the very top, and the ball we created very early on, the player is dead ball. I'll come back down to the player dying state, and now we'll say underscore player is dead, and now it can be equal to true. We'll close the line off straight into the comments, set player is dead to true, and you'll see why now. We're going to come down to the apply damage to player function. Now as I said, we won't be able to test this function until we have the enemy attack script complete, but we can get it filled out ready. And again, I'm going to come to the very top. Now if open brackets underscore player is dead double equals true, close brackets open and close, return, and we'll close brackets there. Straight into the comments. So we'll say if player is dead equals true to the return line, and the same thing, then do nothing and return. And the reason why we could do this is so, I'll just save that off there. When the player starts dying, player is dead equal true. It means that the enemy can no longer continually hurting the player, because if it could, then it would just keep resetting to the player dying state. We'd never get to the player is dead state, and it would cause a mess. So if the player is dead, then we can do nothing else below. Speaking of which, we have one more line of code, which is actually the damage. And what we're going to say is, if this function is activated, which it will be activated via the enemy attack script, which we'll do later. So basically, you don't have to worry about optimization with these functions. These are not running all the time. What will happen is when the attack script is in place, the enemy attacks the player, and this function is activated once, and it will just read through it, and that's it. So we need one more line of code. We say underscore current player health, and we want to minus, then equals, underscore damage amount player. And this is this int here. Now the value for this will be passed into it via the enemy attack script. So we'll close brackets there, into the comments, current health minus damage value. And again, we'll just save that off there. And I'm going to come right down to the bottom here. We can actually delete the void on GUI, because the GUI is now going to be active via a separate script. We're actually going to do a separate script completely for the player GUI, and you'll actually be able to switch the GUI on and off. So I hope that's a feature that you guys want to see. So basically, if your stats are full and you don't need to see the GUI on screen, you can switch it off for a bit, and then when you want to check on your stats, you can switch it back on, or you can just leave it on full time. It won't make a difference. And because I intend to do a more in-depth inventory system at a later date, I already have it planned out. The health pack pickup audio is no longer needed in this script, because now that's going to be included in our inventory script. So we can actually delete that from the replenish health function, and we'll come up to the very top and we'll just delete the audio clip. So health pack pickup audio, we can get rid of that, and we can save that off there. And in the next lesson, if I come back down to the bottom, we'll actually start work on filling out these functions, and in future lessons we'll also create some new functions down here for our other stats and the adrenaline boost I talked about. So I think we'll leave it here for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you next time. And until then, bye for now.